Oh, just so you know, I can't hear you. Are you a mompreneur who is tired of depending on your husband for money and can't figure out who you are outside of your kids? Do you ever feel like your identity is wrapped up into your kids' life rather than your own? Do you feel like you're slipping away into everyday life? If so, then this show is for you. If you know somebody that this show is for, please share it out. Today's guest, Queena Tahi, is going to share some tips that will help you rediscover you. She helps moms rediscover their self-identity and independence through online coaching so they can be thriving entrepreneurs. Stick around to the end of the interview for a free gift that Queena will be giving out. I am your hostess, Linda Sunshine West. I love helping driven women entrepreneurs gain confidence to ask for their worth, clarity to attract clients to them, and focus to get faster results. I do this with my online women's only mastermind and accountability program. I'm with you every step of the way. So who do you know who is in need of confidence, clarity, and or focus? Then send them to womenactiontakers.com for more details. And let's welcome Queena to the show. Let me move this thing off of here. Hello, Queena. How are you doing today?
Hi, how are you? I'm so excited. I am doing good. My son is in his high chair, eating his cereal, drinking his water. So we are good. You might hear a little bit of him on my end.
Okay, cool. You know, you're a mompreneur and you got to do your mom duties while you're also, trying to build your business. So that's like one of the things we're going to talk about today. And I'm really excited about that. You know, you guys, you want to connect with Queena. She has a website, Queena, QueenaTahi.com. You can also follow her on Instagram at Queena Tahi, and then join her Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/mom BFFs. And I'm really excited to have her here because I met her, I don't know, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago inside of another Facebook group. And we just hit it off. You know, she had me on her show and I was like, I got to have you on my show too. And, that's one of the ways it works, right, Queena? We put ourselves out there in a way and then we meet people and then we end up liking them. And so we want to do more for them. And so that's where we are today.
Yay. Yes, that is exactly where we are today.
So I have a question for you. How did you get started in this? Like what, because you could be sitting in the background saying, I got to figure all this stuff out and then just do it yourself. Or you can figure stuff out and then be leading people and helping them. So how did you get into it?
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay. So the way I got into coaching moms is because I started a podcast. That's a really simple, short answer is I started a podcast and I was a stay-at-home mom. And so I wanted to learn how I could be a stay-at-home mom and still contribute to our family finances. Because I was getting tired of always asking my boyfriend for money. And I also was just kind of like, I didn't know who I was anymore outside of mom. Like the moments my kids weren't with me, I didn't know what to do with myself. I would mindlessly scroll through social media on my phone. I would do random things, but most of the time I was just staring at the wall, So I started a podcast and I just wanted to learn from other moms how they do it. And the more I learned, the more I kind of got sucked into that world. And I realized then I started helping other moms learn what I was learning. And together we were learning. And then from there, I kind of built a business mom coaching business. That's redundant, to help other moms because I wasn't the only one that was lost. I wasn't the only one that wanted to contribute to our family finances. There were other moms out there too. And so I was helping them learn what I was learning. And then I built this community that started off first in Hawaii. And now it's kind of worldwide now thanks to the magic of the internet.
Woo, woo. I love it. Well, taking advantage of that because it is, the World Wide Web is out there. It's out there at our disposal. We can use it to our best ability. And you're figuring out how to do that, which is awesome. Or you figured out how to do that, which is really, really incredible, and taking other moms along with you. So when I'm thinking about, my kids are older. They're 36 and 35. So I think they're older than you are, right? I think so.
Oh, they're actually younger than me. Oh. I just turned 37.
I thought you were in your 20s.
Oh, thank you. Oh, well, I love you.
Well, it's cool though, because you're figuring this stuff out, and that said, well, I wonder, really, are there other moms out there who are having the same kind of thoughts and whatever? So we got together, and we're now working together and helping each other. And I think that's really important for us to find people who are in similar situations, to know that they're not alone. And there's so many women out there. When I go to networking events, I hear so many women say, I want to retire my husband, because like their husbands are working so hard, and their business might be a route to make it so that they don't have to work as hard. And it's really about finding that niche for yourself, and yours is helping mompreneurs, and I love it. I love it. So why did you settle on mompreneurs? Was it because of your situation that you were in, and you wanted to help them specifically?
Yes, that's exactly it. It's because what I experienced, and we can go a little further too, is when I was a single mom, I actually did everything wrong that you're supposed to do. I did that.
Okay.
and and kind of I decided that when I was able to finally figure myself out, I decided that, you know, I want to help other moms too, because I know what it's like to be lost, not know who you are, and just kind of grasp at things to just figure out your identity. And I know from my experience, I can help other moms kind of give them that fast track, so they don't have to go
Hmm.
through what, you know, the moments of desperation and whatnot that I had to go through. I can help them skip over that, and go straight to learning who they are and becoming the best that they can be.
That's awesome. You're saving them time. You're saving them aggravation. I think when I think about some of the different emotions that we have, I think aggravation and frustration are the two most common ones that people are willing to spend money on. Because like, I've got this frustration, aggravation. I don't know what to do. I had one of my clients. She spent 8 hours trying to figure something out on the computer, and then we got on a call, and literally I had her done in 10 minutes. So she spent 8 hours of aggravation, right? When she could have just had somebody, like you, come in and help with that. Hello, baby. Baby's crying. Oh, you're muted.
He ran out of cereal. Yeah, I turned off my mic. He ran out of cereal.
Hey, it happens. It happens. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah. Yeah. When my kids were little, 'cause I was a single mom too, but I was an employee. So I didn't experience what you're experiencing there. And so what is that like? Let's talk about a little bit about that, so-called work-life balance. Like, is there really such a thing? I don't know, but what's your thought on it?
Well, let me go help my son out really quick for 1 second, and I'll be
Okay.
right back.
And
Yeah.
I'll talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So being a mompreneur, I mean, I didn't experience that myself, because again, when I was a young mom, or when my kids were young, I was an employee, so I didn't experience that. But I really got to hand it to you, moms who are out there who are really following your dream and your passion, and doing something different, doing something out of the norm, because you could take an easier way out, or you could take a harder way out. And hey, frankly, entrepreneurship is not the easier way out. That's for sure. Oh, there's a baby. We got the baby. Aw, adorable.
Hi. Okay, I apologize for
But
that.
that's okay.
Okay, so where were we?
Okay, so it's talking about your mompreneurship. Hi, baby. I
Yeah.
can't help it. I just got to say hi to the baby. I always just do
Yeah.
that.
It's okay. He can't hear you because of my headphones. But so what were we? Sorry.
Okay, so becoming a mompreneur, we're talking about work-life balance. So like right now,
Work-life balance. Right.
because
Like
right
right
now,
now, this is going on right
exactly.
now.
Right now, we're conducting an interview, and you have a baby on your lap. And so, how do you work with that? Like, let's say you have a deadline tomorrow. You're launching your program. You're launching
Yes.
your program. You have a lot of stuff you have to get done.
Yeah.
So, how are you balancing all of that out with the family as well?
Okay. So the way I balance it is, first of all, I stay real. I stay real with my mompreneurs, because a lot of them are like, well, I have to watch my kids. I don't have time. Or my kids always interrupt. Like my son just interrupted me. And I accept that that's my life right now. That's the season of motherhood I'm in right now. And I and I accept that, and I try and I make it work, right? I do things that I can do to make it work because I want to be a mom. I want to be a business mom. And so I make that work. And a second thing is I set boundaries. There are boundaries that need to be set. If there are moments that I feel stressed out when it comes to my business, I stop doing them and then I spend time with my family. If there are moments that I'm stressed out for my kids, well, I can't really stop watching my kids, but I take a step back. I take a step back and I remind myself, here's one big thing. So whenever my clients tell me that they're stressed out because this is going out their business or this is going out their kids, I always tell them, take a step back and remember why you're doing this. Like why do you even start in the first place? Because when you're in that moment of stress, you forget why you're doing it, and your mind's not there anymore, right? You're just so stressed out, you're so overwhelmed from everything. And the moments of overwhelm is the moments you need to take a deep breath and step back. And because usually when we're overwhelmed, we're thinking about, our to-do list, all these things we have to do, that we forget why we're even doing them. Because the moment we can take a step back and remember why we're doing them is the moment that we can get rid of that overwhelm and create that balance, like Linda was talking about. So the balance, one thing too is balance. We're always like, it needs to be like this. Sometimes our balance is actually like this, or sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's more time with the family. Sometimes it's more time on your business. Your balance is what you make it, and by the boundaries you set. Your balance is what makes you feel centered. So your balance isn't going to look the same as everyone else. Like for me, I work with my kids around. Other people, they put their kids in daycare. So we all have our own balance. It's just, you can just finding your balance by setting your boundaries. That was a really long answer.
No, what I love about that is this is true with anybody, right? But now we're talking particularly about mompreneurs. And what I love that you said, especially, so it's, stepping back, setting those boundaries and all that, which is awesome. But what you said is that, for some parents, they take their children to daycare, but that works for them. But for some parents, they have the children with them. That works for them. So it's finding what works for you and then setting those boundaries for other people around you too. So maybe an example would be, you with is it your boyfriend?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you with your boyfriend, you might say, okay, honey, tonight between 5 and 7, I need you to take care of the little munchkin, because I need to really concentrate on my business. What you did is you set a boundary with the child and you set a boundary, with the boyfriend at the same time. And so it's setting those boundaries for those around us as well as ourselves. And then keeping to those boundaries. That's the hard
Yes.
part.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
so how
I
do you
found myself.
recommend? Yeah. So talk about that a little bit. Like, how do you, because you set boundaries, which is great. People set boundaries all the time, but do they uphold those boundaries? And how do you recommend that they can uphold those boundaries?
Okay, so I'm guilty of this, and I'm sure Linda, you've had your moments where you set your boundaries, and sometimes you kind of go away from your boundaries. Like, I'll make an exception this time. I'll make an exception this time. So the best way that I can combat setting my boundaries is by is by um, is by making sure that I don't stress myself out. And I know that's easier said than done, but the more you put that in practice, whenever you feel that you're in that moment of stress, practice de-stressing yourself. That's how you set your boundaries, because you're setting your boundaries and actually keeping to them. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take practice. So that's how you set your boundaries, as you practice keeping to your boundaries. That's my best answer to come up with, because as far as boundaries are concerned, yes, you can set them. And like Linda said, it's hard to keep to them. But as long as you keep practicing and practicing, eventually it'll just become habit, and you can just say no without feeling stressed out or having to explain yourself. And I personally think that you don't have to be perfect at things, but you can practice at them. You can practice towards that, getting things done perfect, or
Yeah, and I like what you said there too, because it was equating to, taking full responsibility for your own life, right? So maybe an idea would be to, like, let's say there's something you want to do and you need a couple hours to do it, but you haven't set that boundary yet. And so the people in your life aren't used to you upholding the boundaries that you have set, because really that's it, right? It's you respecting your own boundaries, and then they will respect them too because you respect your own. So maybe you start, like you were saying, Queena, maybe you start with just creating smaller boundaries, like smaller, maybe 10 minutes first, and then to 15 minutes, and until they get used to it, especially with children. Like, your child is very young. And so how are you going to teach the child today how to react or to work with you later? Well, it starts now. It
Yes.
starts now. And it's not about ignoring the child. It's about just setting those boundaries and letting them know, okay, in this much time, we will do this thing. But
Yes.
during that time, I need you to give me my space so that I can get it done. So that when I'm with you, I'm spending my time with you.
Yes. Yes.
Otherwise, our head's like in our business a lot of times.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because when I first started podcasting, it was really hard during an interview to get my children to not bother me. But since I kept doing it and I kept reiterating with them and the whole practicing, it's gotten to the point where they know, okay, mommy's podcasting now. We're gonna go entertain ourselves with whatever they may be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's still going to be moments when it doesn't work out, but for the most part, it works out a lot better now than it did in the beginning. So my advice to other moms is to just keep going and just keep setting those boundaries.
Oh, sorry, I disappeared there for a second. I'm still here. Yeah, I love this. Wait, let's see. Somebody's got a comment over here. Let's see what we've got. Great information. Thank you for sharing. This is Abigail Guadarrama Dill. I said her name right, Guadarrama. See, she's in my mastermind. I just
Better
love her.
than
She's
me.
so amazing. Yeah, it's really important, again, and it doesn't matter how old your child is, or even if it's not children. If it's maybe you're still currently working a job and you have coworkers and you need them to set boundaries. For example, I worked in corporate for 36 years. I had 49 jobs, and about 20 of the years that I was in corporate, I was a virtual assistant before that was even a word. So what I would do is, during my lunch breaks, I'd spend my time working on my business. So I had to give that boundary to my coworkers, don't talk to me during lunch. I'm actually working, and I'm working on my own thing. And I would, put up that boundary and say, don't cross that line, because I need to respect myself. So it goes to so many different areas in our lives. And like you said, it's like figuring out, like, what are those boundaries you want to set, and then
Yeah.
set them and keep them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. And keeping them doesn't mean they have to be perfect. It's just practicing. And then eventually that becomes a habit.
Yeah. What
Don't
do you say to mompreneurs out there that are still trying to figure it out? They're still trying to figure out, like, how am I going to balance this? Because I want my business to be successful, so that I don't have to, maybe, like, I don't have to go back to a job, So what do you recommend to them to get focused on what it is that they need to do in order to keep moving forward?
Okay, that's a really great question. And it's a question I get a lot. Lots of times we detach. That's what I always tell them. Detach from your outcome. If your outcome is you want to get rid of your 9 to 5 or whatever job it is that you have, so that you can be a mompreneur and just work for yourself, detach from that outcome. Because if you're so focused on that outcome, you're not going to enjoy the journey to get to the outcome, the in between. So while you're working on, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, because I want to not work for that person anymore, you're going to be so focused on the outcome that every time that you have a setback, and there will be setbacks, every time you have a setback, it's going to affect you that much harder, because you're going to get exhausted, you're going to get discouraged. So my biggest advice is to detach and to enjoy the journey of becoming a mompreneur.
Okay, so saying that, just like the other thing you mentioned, you said that's easier said than done, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't let myself get stressed out. But detaching, do you have any advice on how to mentally get yourself to that place of detaching from the outcome?
Okay. So for myself, when I first started, I was so hell bent on the outcome I wanted. I wanted to make my own money. I wanted to stop asking my boyfriend for money. So every time I did something, I kept thinking like, okay, what was driving me was money. And that wasn't what was in my heart. But I allowed that into my heart because I was so attached to what I wanted my outcome to be. But what I started realizing and what I started doing is I detached from that and I started speaking from my heart. And what do I really want in my heart? I want to help other moms. I want to make an impact with other moms. And so from there, the way I detach is I place in my heart what I really want. And yes, I want money. Money is a byproduct, right? When you start your own business, it's because you want to create money, but there's something deeper and it's what's in your heart. And what you place in your heart is how you can detach what the outcome is. And so the moment I placed in my heart, I want to help other moms. I want to make an impact. That's when I was able to enjoy what I'm doing. And that's how I was able to thrive as a mompreneur because I placed in my heart what I truly wanted.
That's a good point, because as long as your sights are on that result,
Mm-hmm.
I love to say to my clients, it's a given that you are going to help people. It's a given that you are going to change lives. I already know that about you. Now, how can we attach money to that, so that we can generate the revenue so that you can continue to do that on a more regular basis, or make that your life's mission. But yeah, it's a given that when you are following your heart, that you are going to change those lives. But now sometimes it's just a matter of figuring out how to generate that revenue or how to ask
Mm-hmm.
for that money. Because I know at the very beginning for me, it was hard for me to ask for money, and I had to figure out why. And I did figure out why, which was good. But once I figured out why, now I put it out there because I realized that I'm never selling to anybody. People are buying from me. It's completely different. They want what I have and they're going to buy it. So now the pricing is what's going to get them up or down. So
Yes.
yeah, so I think I love that because really it's important detaching from the outcome, especially the financial outcome, because when you follow your heart and you've learned how to properly go out there and ask for the sell, or to ask people to buy from you or invite them to buy from you, or whatever words you want to use, it doesn't matter. It's all the
Mm-hmm.
same. They're
Yeah.
paying you for your service.
Yeah.
So when you can figure that out, that's when you're going to generate that revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I love that, detaching from the outcome. So I'd love for you to share with us, you have a launch coming up tomorrow. I'm super excited for you. When you told me about it, I was excited for all those moms out there who could really use your help. So you want to share what that is, and then I'll put a link in the comments as well as a link up above here.
Yes. I updated the link. It's queenatahi.com/mom lab. Just for you, Linda, just so you know. Um, So I do have a launch coming up. It's a 90-day accelerated group coaching program. I'm taking what I do with my one-on-one clients and I'm putting it in a group setting and offering it to the first 20 moms that are interested. And what we do is we're going to take what's in your heart and what you've been feeling that you've been wanting to do and create that into a profitable and build a profitable and thriving online business around it. And what's amazing in the group setting is that you're going to be part of a community, a supportive community that just wants to cheer you on and see you do good. And so in this 90-day program, you're going to get an exact timeline, exact process of how you're going to build your business, how you're going to magnetize people into it, how you're going to opt in, and how you're going to monetize. Something I like to call the mom method. You're going to learn how you can use the mom method to build a thriving online business use by what's in your heart and how you can help and impact more people. I do have a few clients. So one of the big things is when we start out as mompreneurs, we're trying to copy everyone else. But here's the thing. It's not the whole going into business is not a cookie cutter thing. It's not a one size fits all thing. So if we can what I help is by helping you discover your unique mompreneur journey and helping you get that off the ground. I have a client that helps her Micronesian people by getting rid of the language barrier when they come from Micronesia to America. I have another client that helps moms style, moms who don't feel comfortable with their mom bod. Style, she teaches them how to style, how to wear clothes that complements their body, and helping them to feel comfortable, confident in their body. So that is my launch, and I launch tomorrow. But if you want to, but for Linda's peeps, her community, I actually opened it a day early. So Linda put the comment in there. I see that. So you can click on that link, learn more about it. And I opened it a day early because I was like, why not?
I love it. I love it because we like early stuff because we're action takers.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
I'm like,
I'm so
action.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I see. I can't ask them to take action if there's
well,
no
that's
action.
What exactly. Well, what I love about it is that, as we grow and learn, really it's one of our jobs is to share that information, that knowledge that we've gained. And that's what you're doing, is you're imparting that knowledge onto all these other moms out there who are trying to make a go of it. Or, maybe they are like, I think the question we had is like, are you tired of, having to ask your husband for money or something like that? And, it does get old.
Yeah.
We want to be our own person as well. And so I know that your program is really going to help them a lot. So I want to thank you so much, Queena. Oh, you have a free gift for everybody. And let's see. The free gift is you have an ebook. What's the title of the ebook?
Oh, From Party Mom to Mompreneur. It's queenatahi.com/ebook. And I just kind of go through I think there's about 3 chapters, if I remember correctly. I wrote the book. I can't remember how many chapters, but it's a short book of how I started my mompreneur journey and how I was before. And then, it's EBBO. How my life was before and how lost I felt. It's just, I'm sharing my story with everyone because although my story may not be, the exact version of your story, it may trigger some kind of version of your own story. And I'm trying to inspire other moms that, hey, things may not be great now, but you can definitely still have an opportunity to make it better. And Linda already knows that too.
Big time. That's what they say. Your greatest breakdowns will be your greatest breakthroughs. And so if you're in a wallow right now where you're like, these ladies are full of BS, trust us that, as you make it through the time that you're in right now, that everything's going to be good. And surround yourself with positive and uplifting people, because once you start surrounding yourself with those people, I used to not believe that people who were around me were positive. I thought that they were just kind of lying. They're saying things out of their mouth and they weren't really happy. But I'm discovering more and more is that there are a lot of people out there who are actually happy and who actually are confident and positive. And once I started hanging out with them, I became that person. So really it does rub off. So anyway, go to queenatahi.com/ebook. And then also it's queenatahi.com/momlab.
Yes.
Mom Lab. Yes. Well, Queena, I want to thank you so much for being here. And I'm so glad the baby made a cameo appearance.
Yeah. He got escaped from his grandfather for a little bit, and because his grandfather's watching him.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. You have a great day. And how do you say aloha? Is that just the way you say it?
Aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah.
And uma napa apa awa awa or something. It's the longest word in the world or something. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And you have an amazing day. And I'll see you really soon.
Yes.
Bye-bye.